What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Godlike Statues, where we do statue review and live unboxings. Take a look behind me. We got the Queen Studios Aliens one-to-one bust, the Big Chap. I cannot wait to review this for you. Queen Studios is known for making some of the most elaborate collectible busts you can possibly get. I own the T800, which is absolutely amazing. I also own the RDJ fan art piece that's just mind-blowing in person. How does this one compare to it? Let's find out. All right, guys, here we go. Queen Studios Alien one-to-one Big Chat Bus. Let's start at the base here and just kind of go over everything as we go. But you can kind of see here the Aliens logo and how they put that in a museum type base, which is really nice. I really like that touch. And as you go around, you can kind of see the rock work here. And I know Queen Studios, in my opinion, they struggle a little bit with their rock work, in their bases, but this is done very nicely. It literally looks like a real rock, which is nice. And they added that into the base. As you go around here, you can kind of see everything. And I notice here too is that it has the, actual parts of the alien coming out of the rock, which is super cool. And there's this kind of manhole vent right here on the bottom. You can kind of see the rust work on it. They did do a great job with the painting on that. And you can kind of see how the alien kind of wraps around the spinal cord going up. And we'll go over all that and just how awesome this paint job is. But we'll start right here on the kind of on the rib cages, and you can see here, some of the blues, some of the reds, some of the blacks that are blended into the paint job that are, kind of wrapped around. There's even some white in there too. You can kind of see all that, all the tubing and just detail on the statue is just absolutely amazing. And we're going to go through here. You can kind of see here the chest plate and just kind of how it looks and how it comes up around the neck there. You can kind of see that, and we'll go over the head in just a minute. That's definitely the jewel. We'll come through here and look at this real quick. Here you can really see the undertones of the skin. Like I said, it's got some reds and blues and whites, and just really, really well done. It kind of has that like moist effect look in the paint job, and that is just really cool how they did that. Here's the tubing, around the neck and the head area. And you come around here, and you can kind of really see what I'm talking about. This piece is massive, and we'll do some measurements here in just a minute for you. You can kind of get an idea of how big this bad boy is. There we go. They have these big fins that come out just like from the movie, and these are really long and wide, and it makes the statue really long, and we will talk about that. I'll put the dimensions down below. You can see them. There they are. I'll add that too. And you can see their spinal cord there real quick. Yeah. And then you can kind of get a good idea from some of the tubing. Again, here's some of what I was talking about. More of those different colorations in the skin and how they wrap all around him, and they're all through the paint job, and you can see kind of that that weathered look on the body. I'll come around here, you can kind of see what I'm talking about too on this side. Yep, kind of see the tubing there as it comes through. This is a very, very large piece, and it definitely comes with a very pretty hefty price tag at $5K, but in my opinion, it is very well worth it. There again, some more of the details through the body. Kind of get a look at it and see. Looks like I'm going to back up just a bit, and you can see that. There you go. And we'll kind of make our way around here. You can kind of get an idea. And these two, and it's very similar on both sides, but man, I just love how they do that. Let's start over here, and man, this is definitely the jewel of the statue, but you can kind of see like the skin, kind of bulging out, and then these teeth here are like chromed out. You can kind of see that. There we go. Like chromed out teeth. In person, they're just really amazing how they did that. On this side, you can kind of see the skin textures and his jawline, and more of the tubing that comes around. There's His skin's bulging now, that more tubing. But I just love that, how the paint job is on the skin. So I was talking to my buddy Alan from Godlike on the panel, and I mentioned to him, like, there's some numbers here, on this. And we kind of did, I did some investigating of my own and read more about it. But Alan had mentioned to me is that, well, this tubing had part numbers on it because this is an exact replica of the Big Chap from the movie. They took pieces they had and they built it basically off of, tubing parts they use for mechanical work or whatever. And that's kind of how this piece came about, which is even more incredible. So I thought that was a nice touch to leave that on there. I thought that was amazing. So the dome has this like clear, it's like a clear plexi, but it's got this, the spray on the bottom to kind of give that effect. But you can kind of see the skull and the brain on top, and we're going to go over all that. You can kind of get a good look at it. But you can see the eyes there right in the front. You get a good look at that. There we go. And there was versions of this that came out by Queen Studios where the paint line was maybe about right here, and it was really hard to see the eyes on it. Pardon me. But my goal was to pick one up that didn't have that overspray. And I was lucky enough to find one from a collector. I ended up picking this one up, and I've been really happy with it. It does carry, it has a lot of real estate, so you have to be aware of that. It is pretty expensive, but I'll tell you right now, this is one statue that I'm so glad I purchased, and it was definitely worth the money for me. It really was. Let me come on this side. You can kind of get a good look on this side as well, on how that looks. Have an idea on the tubing there. Man, that looks so great. And I'm not sure if it's picking up on camera, but there's some greens, some whites, some grays and blacks into there to give it that effect, give it that look. And there's that spinal cord, and again, just more tubing and cables and how they did that. Just what a great piece. There's more of that weathered paint job. Looks great. Come on this side here real quick. Man, look at that. That angle is just so amazing how they did that. But just the sculpt and the paint job, the armor weathering, the teeth in the dome, really gives that alien look, and it's just so amazing. This is such a great statue. If you're thinking about picking this one up, it is long sold out, but if you were to pick one up, I highly recommend it, especially if you're an Aliens fan. I think this is something you would really love. This is one that I wanted from afar for a while now, and when I had the chance, I jumped all over it. I was able to pick it up. Just get a bit more in there. Yep. What a great statue. Wow. All right, guys, this is the Big Chap 1-to-1 alien bust by Queen Studios. And there you go, guys. The Queen Studios 1-to-1 Big Chap bust. This one's going to get a 10 out of 10 from me. This is up there with all the other ones. The T100 bust. The other one that I own is not by Queen, but it's a fan art RDJ bust. Probably one of the best sculpts ever made. Still, this one's up there with those. Just an incredible piece, amazing details by Queen Studios. Comment below and let me know which is your favorite bust that you own. I'll see you on the next one. Stay godlike. Bye-bye.